And thankfully, I have been joined by another guest whose story I'm sure will inspire you wherever you are. His name is Augustine O Agyei. He is the CEO of Aoa Empire. And he has a way of mentioning the empire. How do you pronounce it?
Aoa Empire.
Right. You heard that, right? He is the CEO. I'm sure most of my guests, my viewers, like myself, may be hearing of this empire for the first time.
That's right.
Would you mind telling us the genesis of it and a little bit about yourself?
Well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you once again. My name is Augustine O Agyei. Born here in Ghana, but early 2003 moved to Italy, and been overseas since early 2003, and the last 10 years been residing in the UK. So I believe this empire came to a point where I was outside trying to help people along my journey into entrepreneurship to literally discover their true potential, what they're actually capable of doing, what they're actually being called to do in this world. So I needed a message. I needed something to really, how do I call it, push people to really come out with their true potential. And that's where the Aoa Empire came about. So Aoa Empire literally stands for Arise, Organize, and Aspire. So I believe that in everything that you have to do, you need to arise, but organize yourself in order to aspire. So the goal is to inspire generations to arise, organize, and aspire.
Okay. Interestingly enough, we are looking at the subject, the rise of the entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So at Aoa
Empire.
Aoa, arise, organize,
and aspire.
And aspire.
That's right.
Arise, organize, and aspire. So,
absolutely.
Who are your target audience?
My target audience is pretty much everybody. I truly believe whether young, old, or young age, I believe everybody is my target audience, because I truly believe that no matter what level or what age you are, you still got a lot to arise on and a lot to organize on in order to aspire. So the target audience mainly, normally I would say, is for the younger people, but I truly believe even the adults are still the target audience too.
All right then. So you help people to arise.
Yeah.
From what?
To arise from the current situation, to arise from,
a current situation that may not be that desirable. Okay.
I help people to arise from their comfort zone, to arise from a dream that has been hidden behind, their comfort zone, or behind fear doors, behind, challenges in their own mind, to just jumpstart their life and go make that dream become a reality.
Okay.
So that's my main focus, to push people out of the thing that is hidden in them so that they can arise, organize, and then aspire to the world.
Okay. So how do you go about this? Is it that you bring targeted audience together at a session and speak to them, or what exactly do you do?
Well, how I go about it is I literally educate people, because over the last 8 to 9 years, I've been in multiple organizations such as online marketing, such as online businesses, try to coach people who actually have lost hope in how to get their life together. I've actually spoken in schools, spoken into different conferences, to literally give people the key message, helping them within finding their true purpose.
Right.
So I do that through different type of platforms. So
Right.
it could be schools, it could be through the church, through organizations such as what I'm already involved in, marketing as perspective, and most importantly, sometimes online as well.
Okay.
So that's how I do it.
All right, great. So when was the last time you had such a session?
Well, I had that not on the 18th, 19th when I came to Ghana. I did some at
Of which
OSU.
month?
January.
Oh, okay, of January.
Yeah.
So you brought the people to a center? And
Yeah,
you spoke to
we
them,
had.
or you went to school? I just want to have an idea exactly what you did
So
last month.
we had people come to me to meet me
Okay.
at OSU.
Right,
So
you
we-
brought the people to
That's
meet
right.
you. Great. There's something about entrepreneurship that has a key to drive nations. And here in Ghana, our governments have been doing quite a lot in that area. To you, what is entrepreneurship? Or who is an entrepreneur?
You know,
and how can we use it to develop our nation?
Right, that's a great question. I mean, an entrepreneur is pretty much somebody who finds a problem and provide a solution.
Great.
You know, I believe that there are so many problems that we have to solve. And I believe that God initially did the right thing, giving people the actual, solution. And I believe many people have that hidden within them. And if only many are, wake up to their calling, then we can all tap onto a lot of problems by providing a solution. So an entrepreneur is somebody who identifies a problem in a certain niche, in a certain area, and say, listen, I'm going to provide a solution. I think not quite long, we saw a young guy build his own car from scratch.
Right.
And he understands that there is an empty market in the African market in automobile, because there isn't a lot of people here in Africa or in Ghana that does it apart from Apostle Kojosafo.
Right.
But we need more people. So he understands that there is a gap in the market.
Right.
So he stepped out to cover that gap. So an entrepreneur pretty much is, identifying that there is an empty space or a problem, and you provide the solution to the masses.
Okay. So having interacted with a lot of people for all these years, what would you identify as the major talents, qualities, values, ethical behaviors that the young people watching us who are aspiring must possess?
I mean, the challenges that as anybody who wants, I think most of the time, what really set a lot of people back is, I often say that we are all created by the Creator.
Right.
All right, to create more stuff. But early days, in our early beginnings, the society or the system, I would say, kind of shutting a lot of people down, and what they aspire to become, they just put that behind them and do what they've not been called to do. So I believe some of the challenges that one needs to really know is that when you make a decision to go out there and do what you've been called to do, it won't be a smooth ride. Nothing is smooth. They say, a smooth sea does not make you a skillful sailor. Okay. Now, being on a smooth sea doesn't mean automatically you're a skillful sailor. You have to be willing to come out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take, the steps. You have to be willing to go through challenges and go out there and make that happen. So some of the qualities is you need to work on your behavior, your attitude. Because entrepreneurship can be also a lonely game sometimes, because you're kind of on your own. So your attitude to speak to people, your attitude to engage in customer delivery, your attitude in building networks and connections. So those are some of the things one has to work on, talking to the younger people out there.
All right. How do you see the Ghanaian youth and entrepreneurship? Are we getting the message? Do you see a lot of us daring to start something?
Well, when you...
with a view to solving a societal problem, that is.
Everybody often is waiting for the Messiah. Everybody often is waiting for somebody else to do it. Everybody thinks somebody needs to solve the problem. But I truly believe that the problem has to be solved by us, right? So looking at the Ghanaian community, I see a lot of people trying.
Right.
They're trying, but most of the time they're not getting much help, or they're not getting much, hand being laid out. Because I truly believe that when somebody is trying, there should be other people trying to help them reach their goal.
Right.
So some are trying, but I believe they need more help in terms of they need more hands to be shaken so that they can get the network, or they can get the right places to bring everything that they have in them on the outside. So some are trying. I see on the street many people really going out there, making things happen, trying to make a living for themselves and getting the things done. So some are trying, yeah.
Fantastic there, Augustine. So some are trying. We are in a pandemic.
Absolutely.
And you have the expertise, the experience, and the knowledge for startups. So for somebody watching us who wish to start something in this pandemic, era, what are some of the do's and don'ts?
the do's are times have changed. Okay, the pandemic has taught many of us a lesson that what we call the norm is no longer available.
This actually has become the norm.
This has become the norm, right? Face covering, right?
Can you imagine?
And a lot of people are making money out of face covering because
yeah.
it become a new business for many people. But what we are used to, which is the norm, is no longer available. When you come outside overseas, we are all online. In Ghana, I don't see that a lot. But outside, we are more online. What I normally advise people is, there are 4 quadrants that I teach by Robert Kiyosaki. Speak about the E side, the S, the big business owner, and the investor. We've all been programmed on the E and the S side. What is the E? I'm talking about the employee. All right? The employee works for their paycheck, which is a great way to start. But then most people often upgrade to become what we call self-employed, which is also a great way to start. But catch this. When the pandemic happened, the people who got affected the most were the employees and the self-employed. What does that mean? You're locked in, you're locked down. Some didn't have a way to go work.
Yeah.
So your income is capped.
Yeah.
Right? Now, imagine, I don't think Bill Gates was stuck with his income. I don't think Warren Buffett was stuck with his income. Do you know why? Because they are on the B and the I side.
Which are?
Which is the big business owner and the investor. So the big business owner has multiple streams that still provide income, whether off duty or on duty.
Okay.
So
which the E and the self-employed probably may not know.
They're stuck.
Right.
They're stuck not because it's not a good way to start. It is a good way to start because having a job is good. Being a self-employed is good. But most of the time,
how do you multiply?
We have to multiply, but most importantly as well, you have to find a way to develop an income that if you are sick and you can go to work, how can you get paid? If you can do what you've been doing like the norm, how can you earn an income? That's what I'm saying. I was watching Ecclesiastes chapter 11, and yesterday.
You were reading or watching?
So reading. I've been reading. I was looking at it last night with an individual, and it speaks about having 7 streams
of
income.
Okay.
Why? Because you do not know what bad day you may come across in this world.
And
that's what he says.
Does it mention the sources of this?
Well, source of income could be many ways.
I'm referring to the text in Ecclesiastes. You said 7 streams.
Seven streams.
I'm just asking whether it enumerated the 7.
No, it talks about spreading your grains in different places.
Okay.
All right, so that when it's time for harvest, you may reap the harvest not just from one side.
From one side.
Because you never know what will happen along the journey.
Okay.
And it makes me reflect back to your question,
right,
talking about COVID-19.
Right.
Early 2020, nobody knew there was anything going to call COVID-19.
Yeah.
Everybody was super excited,
that
looking forward to the new year.
Exactly.
All right? And everybody is waiting for the usual stuff. Hey, new year, new me. Right? But it showed everybody and most people a big lesson that preparation on multiple streams is super important. So the advice I want to give to people is don't relax on one income. If you have one, great. Create another one. Create another one. Find the right channel and make that happen.
I like that. And so at your sessions, you imbibe into your audience
absolutely
skills that will help them
to
create multiple income sources.
Yes.
Do you do it for free, or I can just come in? Can I just come attend one of those sessions?
Yeah, you can attend one of the sessions to get the knowledge. Because
when is the next one coming?
Well, I go back home tomorrow. So
go back home where?
To UK.
Oh, that's
I live
your
in
home.
UK. Yes.
I thought here is home.
Well, this is home, but that's where I stay the most. Right. This is
just
where
your legs.
That's right. Where you live the most, you call it home too.
I'm just pulling your legs. So that's all right. So you are returning tomorrow.
That's right.
But when should Ghanaian youth? People have been, they have listened to you, and probably they want to attend one of those sessions to learn the skill.
Right.
So when should we expect a session with you?
The next biggest one we normally do now. The word is on Zoom. All right,
Zoom, online. Okay.
All right, so that's where we communicate the most now.
Okay, so when it's coming up, let's know.
That's right.
So that we can get our youth to be involved.
Okay, people can just follow on Facebook, or we can just put information out later on, and then whoever want to jump on to learn a skill set, why not? We'll take it up from there.
We would be glad to. Thank you, Augustine, for coming.
Thank you
You
for
have
having me.
inspired some of our people, if not all of them. I have been speaking with Augustine O Agyei. He is the CEO of Aoa, Aspire, Organize, and Arise Empire. Sharing with us how he rose to be an entrepreneur and inspirer of the young generation. I'm sure you have been inspired as well. Thank you for coming, Augustine.
Thank you.
We are grateful. This is where I make way for Danny to return to your screen with his guests to look into the topical issues that have made their ways into the newspapers today. Monday, God willing, we'll meet. Until then, stay blessed and beautiful and remain where grace will find you. I'm out now. Good morning.